much for having me here. I am JAPHACE Poncien. I work with Mkoa University College of Education as a researcher and senior lecturer, but I also serve as the national country director for the project African Extractivism and the Green Transition. And this afternoon I was presenting on an evolving critical minerals governance strategy in Tanzania, where basically I talk looking at the short-term plans of the Ministry of Minerals and the sector's documents. I was making a case in terms of the nature and the character of critical minerals governance strategy that is evolving in Tanzania. And I'm arguing that we are having a reactive governance strategy which keeps changing, and that's understandable because critical minerals is a geopolitical agenda, and it's a geotechnological agenda affected by rapid technological changes and shifts at the global level, which also have implications of what happens at the national level. And then you have intervening local political economic forces also shaping the governance strategy, including electoral politics and the overall political settlement framework that is in place. And one of the key things that I want to emphasize from this is the fact that whereas you see much effort in the Western world for Western countries teaming up together, pooling resources together to promote capacity, their technical and technological capacity in harnessing and processing and developing critical minerals, in having access to critical mineral resource-rich countries, you don't see much happening at the African Union level, the continental level, in terms of African countries having a clear vision and one voice on what they want as a continent to achieve from this increasing demand for the critical minerals, and how they plan to use this advantage of critical minerals to promote a robust industrial strategy. You don't see that happening much at the continent level, but you see individual countries coming up with some resource nationalist strategies, including bans on export of raw critical minerals, which are good, but they do not help us transform in terms of that broader industrial transformation strategy at the continent level. You don't just ban export of critical raw materials when you do not have developed internal capacity to process these raw materials into processed or semi-processed products. So at the country level, I think as a country we need to have a vision. What do we want to achieve? We know critical minerals are central for the digital technology, they are central for defense, they are central for the energy transition, and therefore all these are industrial policy questions. What sort of industrial policy do we develop as a country, and how do we want to leverage these critical minerals for catapulting our industrial production? How do we coordinate the different sectors to make sure that this agenda is a national agenda? So for instance, in Tanzania we have the so-called Samia Scholarship, where high-performing high school graduates are sponsored by the government of Tanzania to do their bachelor degree outside Tanzania with a focus on data science and artificial intelligence. But you don't see this aspect of developing capacity in terms of the technology of processing critical minerals featuring in that Samia Scholarship. So that gives you a sense of a disconnected vision where every sector does its own thing in its own silo, without having that coordinated national strategy.
Oh, Maina, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.